What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Weiss Schwarz News and Market Update for August 20th, 2022. Lots to cover today. I'm going to talk about my giveaway, Bushiroad Rumble Online. We are going to talk about Hololive Premium Booster Box, Tournament Assist PR cards, and we're going to look over Quintessential Quintuplets, Tokyo Revengers, and DanMachi Is It Wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon market prices. With that, let's get going. So first up, I am doing a giveaway. That was on my last video. My favorite Climax cards in Weiss Schwarz. I show you mine now, you show me yours. Details about the giveaway is in that video. I did not mention it at that time, so I'm going to mention it right now. Wednesday morning is the cutoff for that giveaway. It is when I wake up. One winner from both YouTube and Twitter combined together. I'm going to roll that off, and somebody will win a $20 TCG Player gift card. Again, that is sponsored by people that use my affiliate link, which is in the description right here. In every video, if you click that link, make a purchase, the percentage of that money goes to me. I use that for giveaways. I don't keep any of that money for myself. And you can enter either on Twitter or YouTube. I prefer you do it on Twitter and then just comment on the YouTube video that you did that, because on Twitter, what I want you to do is show me 4 Climax cards. Any 4 that you just love to see, you have a connection to, anything like that, please put it out there. If you go on YouTube and do it, the worst part about that is you're going to actually have to type them all out. You see that? You're going to have to type them all out because you can't put a picture inside of YouTube. So Twitter is the place to do it. I got this idea from what I saw on the JP side of Twitter. People are putting their favorite 4-door climaxes. I say any climax, here are my 4. I just love seeing this, especially signatures on climaxes. I think that's really, really awesome. But if you scroll through here, there are a lot of people that put some really awesome climaxes on here. Some were definitely more emotional, as in someone put in Yuki from Sword Art Online. It took me back to that. And not to give away a spoiler on that, but it was just a little sad what happened to Yuki there. And then you also have some ones with some seiyus on it, right? And we got Audrey here with Love Live, of course, and D4DJ. So we have some fun ones, like we got Yotsuba here. Here's another fun one. I didn't know this exists. This is why doing this is pretty cool to me. I like seeing cards, even though I don't play as much as I would prefer to do. Look at this card. I had the ask off here to the right, and the person wrote back and said it was a little sort of joke called Wooser. You can see the reindeer leaving, the spirit leaving the body, and the girl looks horrified about what happened here. So Signum BS showed me this one. So I'm gonna have to check out the anime. It's gonna be really cool. Again, you got till Wednesday. I need to see 4 climaxes, any 4. If you don't want to participate in the giveaway, feel free to just write some anyways. For the giveaway, you don't have to like or follow or subscribe or anything like that. I don't care about all that. Really, it's just about appreciating the cards. Okay, moving on. Bushiroad Rumble Online. This is happening right now, and the prize for, the big prize anyways for Weiss Schwarz is this winner PR card for Attack on Titan. I think it's amazing looking, and it is happening right now on Twitch, so if you have time, check it out. I know I was watching Dean using his DanMachi deck against a Ruby deck, which I always like seeing him play his Ruby deck because it's full of foily goodness. And on right now is Chuni Clan Twintail versus Wild Wild Weiss Plat. It's actually pretty cool to watch this. If you haven't checked it out, a whole lot of fun. And it lets you, if you haven't seen a lot of games, they bring up the cards as they play, so it's nice to actually visually see that. That's kind of like one of the things I don't like about watching people play, is you don't get to see the cards up. They're just going full speed. But having a narrator, have the cards showing up, and a little bit of explanation with why someone's doing that, whole lot of niceness to that, versus just watching 2 people play and you have no clue what's going on if you're not really experienced playing this game. Okay. Premium Booster Box Hololive Production English version has come out from the Bushiroad Global Online Store. We got some deliveries of that. I opened 2 myself. I'm holding off on opening the other ones for now kind of want to make sure that I get my stuff in September before I open more, because you never know what's going to happen to said boxes. I don't want to open everything if you never, yeah, before I actually have it in hand. I'm a seal collector, right? So I want to make sure that there is some left over for me before I tear open everything. But the cards look really nice. If you haven't seen that video on it, I have it out there. The cards look freaking fantastic. If you like anybody from Hololive, definitely consider opening the box if you want the experience, or buying the singles when it comes out officially on September 30th. And getting your favorite ones. It looks so nice. I can't tell you how much I was blown away by holding these actual cards. There is something though. The Japanese version came out there. There are still people waiting for their Japanese boxes to come. Some from GeekJack, some from Hololive. Just all of it has not come out there. And someone on Reddit, we have posted by OPX, I am totally butchering your name. I apologize, but this person right here put a picture up, and they're saying that the one on the right obviously is the Japanese, the one on the left is English. They're saying that there is a color difference between the two, and you can see that right here. Like, there is more purple on the right side. The left side, English, is lighter in color. They also had issues with some kind of bubbles on the actual card as well. That's been happening on English cards. I haven't opened too much Japanese to know if that's like a huge issue, but it does definitely happen on the English side. And there is, ooh. Okay, let me go back here. And then he has another picture here. If you didn't believe it, if you thought it was like an angle kind of thing, you can see right here, same thing. It is not an angle. It's not like a light kind of coming down and showing off. It is a different color. The other thing you're going to notice with these cards are, let me just see, the size of the text box. English is definitely more text box length high than what you have on the Japanese side. And there's this right here, this gold bar. So we have more text, and I guess this bar right here that blocks the image. So if you want more of the image, if you want a different kind of color, maybe you pick up the Japanese as well. That's my whole point here, is there is some sort of difference between the two, not just even silver SPs that we are getting where the Japanese got gold ones. You definitely have differences in the actual card images as well. Okay, so that kind of stinks. I would have never known that. I don't have the Japanese version, so it's nice to actually see someone point that out. Next is the Tournament Store Assist PR pack out on Weiss Schwarz. They let us know that Saekano How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend Tournament Store PR pack is going to be a thing. Here are the 5 different cards. How you actually get them is by buying 1 box of Saekano. There it is. So pretty straightforward. Just buy 1 box. Next one we are told about is Rascal Does Not Dream of a Dreaming Girl. And how you get this is buying 1 box of either the reprint of Rascal Does Not Dream of a Bunny Girl Senpai, or Rascal Does Not Dream of a Dreaming Girl, the new set that is coming out. So here are your pictures for that one. Why this is important is because we have Quintessential Quintuplets that have come out. So I need your help. People that actually have a local game store, let me know what's been going on. Because when this first came out, right, when we got this, we were notified that, hey, if you buy 8 packs of the following product, you will get 1 PR pack. So if you buy, what it's basically saying is, if you buy 1 booster box, you should be getting 2 of these PR packs. Now, what I've been hearing people have told me is Bushiroad sent an email and you're supposed to get 1 per booster box. And then what I'm hearing people actually do is giving out not 1 per booster box. I'm hearing 1 per case, because they're not getting enough of these PR packs to begin with. what I did see out on TCG Player, I saw people that normally sell PR packs, like the people that say they run tournaments and they have local people that are shady, and then they just take the packs and sell it. What they've been doing is they have been selling the same amount of PRs that I see with the last couple sets. So they didn't get cut on PR packs is what I've been seeing. No, I'm not there. I don't know for sure. So I noticed that they are selling the same amount. Is this actually true? Is it not? I don't know what's going on, but that's what I want to bring up. So hopefully, if anybody out there does have a store, can you clear it up? What's actually happening? Are you getting enough supply? Was there an email that said you're supposed to give out one per booster box? And always inside of these tournament store PR packs, it's limited to how much you get, like as right here, subject to availability while supply lasts. On this, now that I'm looking on the Rascal one, limited to 5 packs per person, subject to availability. So they added that little bit down here. Oh, same thing for Saekano, limited to 5 packs per person, which is interesting. They added that now. It's honestly this has been going on for a while, that I thought they would have been able to smooth this sucker out, like how this is all going, but still seems like with Quintessential Quintuplets, either people are taking too many packs or they don't know what to do with it, which I've heard before is like a communication issue. Either way, we're not at a point yet that could say we're solid, and that's really, really unfortunate for people. But moving on, Quintessential Quintuplets. This thing came out on Friday, which was yesterday, August 19th. This thing was pretty nuts, and I even showed a little bit about it. What I mean by nuts is you had this booster box all the way down there into the 40s. And I'm going to show you what I mean by this. It was on pre-order. People were buying this in the 70s, right? We had 90s, 70s, 60s as more people started putting them for pre-orders, 50s, and it went all the way down to 47.97. Now, I showed on my video that there was like people that had hundreds, 50s, 30s of these boxes. Before I did this video, before I hit record, I actually added up all of that stuff. All of the amounts that were sold just on August 19th. Can you just take a guess at how many booster boxes were sold on August 19th? Let me just show you here. So this is where August 19th started, and this is where August 19th ends. All the way down here. So let's just see that. That is crazy. That is freaking crazy. And when I added all the booster boxes up, that totaled to be 106 booster boxes sold just on Friday, which is insane. If you take a look at Tokyo Revengers, I'm not going to bring that up. I didn't count it. Nowhere near the amount of volume. Even though this thing dropped to $47, I want to show you. One seller right now, $55.99, 20 of them. After that, it goes back to the 60s. Not to say that there isn't going to be more people that put more boxes up. The supply of the booster boxes was crazy, but you can see now that supply has definitely been dropped off as people are starting to see all these different cards, the value of it, that you can actually use this deck to play with. It overall, everything is firing. For Quintessential Quintuplets, definitely probably going to be one of the best selling sets in Weiss Schwarz overall. Like if you think about Quintessential Quintuplets 1, you had the Quintessential set, now you have Quintessential 2. With this, there is no doubt in my mind that we are definitely going to see Quintessential movie coming out for English. The only reason why we don't get it is if somehow some other company takes it. Outside of that, I cannot imagine that we will not get Quintessential movie. If you have 106 booster boxes bought on TCG Player on day one, especially with how people can pre-order from different stores at this point, that's insane. That's freaking insane. This set is going to do incredibly well in the long term. So you can see with the SSPs pretty strong for Miku, and Nino again is going to be the one you're going to want the most. Other decks, as I've been told, thank you Audrey again for making remember that you play waifu decks for all the different girls, but more meta-ish you're going to be leaning towards the 12 standby. And Nino, you're going to be looking at Nino. Nino is freaking expensive in this. These Hanayome rares I was not very excited for. I like the Quintessential Quintuplets 1 Hanayome rares versus 2. Not that I mind these, I'm not going to say I hate them. Nothing like that at all. I just have more of a preference for Quintessential Quintuplets 1 when it comes to the Hanayome rares. Especially the playmat. I don't know if you've seen the playmat, but I was a bit disappointed by the playmat that we got because it reminded me of Quintessential Quintuplets 1. And honestly, I prefer the playmat of that because it had the frame, that pink frame on the top and the bottom of Quintessential Quintuplets 1. So a little disappointed overall when I saw those two, the Hanayome rares and then the playmat. But overall, I still love this set. If you're wondering when I'm going to open this, when I am going to open this, I am going to do both Quintessential Quintuplets 1 and 2. First time around, I'm going to do it as just a talk about the anime itself. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spoil the crap out of it. If you do not want to hear what happens in Quintessential Quintuplets 1 and 2, you're not going to want to watch that video because I'm going to straight up talk about everything that happens in 1 and 2. Not going to talk about the movie because I haven't seen it and I don't know what happens. I know ultimately who wins in the end, like which girl actually ends up marrying, but I don't know how that actually happens. Like how it gets to that point. I don't know anything about it. I have the manga, I just haven't read it. And I want to see it in animated form before I go back and read it. That's what I'm really waiting for. So that's what I'm going to do. That's my plans for the opening, and then I'll just open over time as time goes by. And then we'll get it. And then I'll pick up some singles. That is my plan. These singles... Some of these singles are definitely going to be cheap. We have the OFRs, which are going to be fairly expensive. Nino is going to be your biggest one. Some people are definitely trying to push Miku as going to be the highest price one. I think Nino, in terms of the ability to be a max rarity deck, is going to have the advantage there. So it's interesting to see that people are buying some of these cards like Miku here, really, really expensive in the 149. And now it is 103.49. And then realistically, Nino is going to be your big one when it comes to this set, 124.97. Not every card of Nino is going to be the highest in the network category, but I think you're pretty well off if you pull a Nino card. You can see that here with this standby deck again. This is the one you're going to want. The scene is amazing. This is actually, you can read it here. It says I love you there. That's not really a spoiler if you read the card. This is what happens in that actual scene. Straightforward feelings. You're going to use this in the deck. It's an amazing moment. Collectors are going to want that one. $249.99. I think that's still a little bit expensive. But if enough max rarity people come along and buy it, then maybe this is the deal of a lifetime. But honestly, for me, I wouldn't buy it at $249. And then we have our triple rares. Your standby, again, is going to be your biggest. This is your Nino over here. We got Chef Nino going. So $13.69. Man, I love this. I love this anime so much. I can just tell you every one of where these scenes come from. I really wish I had time to have done that anime into trading cards, where I actually pull the anime scenes up and then plop the cards on it. Just did not have enough time to do that. When we got our SRs, this set, if you do not remember, there is one parallel for every regular card, which means that there were 100 regular non-flashy foily cards. There was 100 collector cards that went along with them. So super rares, there were 74 of them. The big ones that went are your playable ones, like Nino over here. And then you have people that were buying into these, let's say, cards, more interesting cards with them and just towels. When they went to the hot springs, that's what was happening here. This thing got bought in the eights, I believe. Yep, eights, even nines, seven, eights, nines, and now people have it at $29.90. I will tell you right now, that is way too high. And why I say that is because you can go on a different website and get it for lower. That is a thing. So you could easily, I've always used other websites to figure out if it's high or low. On TCG Player, this is definitely higher because the other websites have it for lower. There are times, the majority of the times, where TCG Player is lower than the other websites. And for there, then I'm like, okay, that's an okay range then. When TCG Player is lower than other websites, good. When it's the other way around, TCG Player, then you know it's overpriced by a lot. So this one's overpriced. So you definitely need to do the comparisons when you go out here and buy. But if I go to page 2 here, you're going to see a lot of really cheap SRs because inside of a box you're going to get 3 foils this time around just because there's so many of them. And you could see, if I click on this, there's going to be shipping that you have to add on here. But pretty much, like if you wanted to collect all the SRs, which would actually be pretty cool to see, they're pretty low. Not to say that that's cheap. When you think about 100 different, or 74 at least, 74 different SRs, 74 times minimally $2 is still a lot of money. But it'll be cool to see all these cards in a binder. Can you imagine seeing all of these shiny cards in a binder with them being at least 74 SRs? Just incredible to look at. We have our PR cards. As I've mentioned, there have been definitely stores or sellers that have been selling this when they should not have been selling this. So is it a lack of people getting some PR cards, or is it really because there's so many products being purchased? Like let's say a seller buys 3 cases every time around, but then when Quints happened, they bought 10. And the amount of PR packs they got wasn't bumped up to match that amount of cases that they bought. I don't know, but I do see sellers with the same amount selling these, and they're pretty expensive. You can see overall here we got $14 across the girls. Miku, Nino, Miku, Itsuki, Ichika, Nino, and Yotsuba, $14. The non-foily version, you can see $4. Is there shipping? Yes, there is. So let's just say $5 each. Will it come down? I'm not really sure. I honestly don't know. Actually, Nina over here was 20. I thought she was in the 15s early. Yeah, she was. She was 15 earlier. She is now $20. So it's been a battle. I've been watching this where people are trying to keep it down in the 14s, 15s, and it eventually goes back up to 20. Yeah, it's overall this set's been nuts when it comes to the actual pricing. Now we have double rares. Of course, what I did here was I did some double rare averages. Let me just bring this on over. So double rare average 166.28. What I've said is add 50, roughly gets you your rares, your commons, uncommons, all of that stuff together. So if you bought these playsets in the 200s, which I definitely see happening on TCG Player, not TCG Player, if you see it on Facebook, I've been seeing people actually try to sell playsets in the 200s. I don't know how much are being bought. I know there was someone trying to sell 6 of them, I think. I don't know if he sold any of them because people PM, right? Like there could be some sales that are not listed there, but there are 200. I think when I look over the last couple sets, as I've done on that one video, if you could buy a playset for 200, 225, you're in a sweet spot. If you had to buy in 250, it could go either way, one way or the other, where you paid a little bit too much, maybe you underpaid, but 200 is a pretty solid price. And I will flash to you Tokyo Revengers when we get there, and DanMachi updated them as well. Which, as I say that, we are on Tokyo Revengers. Tokyo Revengers here, the reason why I'm bringing this up is I did a video about Tokyo Revengers, the expected value. So today is August 19th. Tokyo Revengers came out on, or today is August 20th. Tokyo Revengers came out on July 29th. Now I want to show you the difference between Tokyo Revengers and Quintessential Quintuplets. So if you take a look here, we have, let's go with a big one, Baji, 19 listings. We have Draken, 18 listing, Kazutora, 20 listings for their double rares. Now look at Quintessential Quintuplets after one day, just one day. We have 21 Ichika, 23 Nino, 24 Nino, Itsuki 22. What does that tell you? What I've said all along was Tokyo Revengers was not opened as much. People didn't see the value in it. There was not as much hype in it. Just as I see with Attack on Titan. I do not see Attack on Titan, the third season, not the third season, but the final season, box number 3. I don't see a whole lot of hype around it with what's going on. So I need to do a buy or invest video on that one. That is on the list of videos that I need to do. But I'm getting Tokyo Revengers vibes out of Attack on Titan. It may not be at the same level because Attack on Titan is more popular. It's definitely a seasoned anime. Do you feel that Attack on Titan has that same kind of hype as Quintessential Quintuplets, or does it kind of go with Tokyo Revengers? I don't know. Maybe you can tell me. Maybe I'm completely wrong on that. I don't get that same kind of mood off of it. And I had brought up Quintessential Quintuplets 1 just to show this, to see what's been going on with it. I didn't bring up everything on it. I brought up the SSPs, so we do have them up here. Miku, definitely really, really nice. We have Nino up there, $799.99. And we have Itsuki, $549, so $550. Yotsuba, sadly, is down there. That was always the lowest one out of all the girls from Quintessential Quintuplets 1. Not the greatest, $326. And here's your Hanayomi rares from Quintessential Quintuplets 1. They're really nice comparatively to this one. Not the greatest, that's what I meant by that, but even though I still love the set, here is one of the cards that you may want to pick up for the standby deck for Quintessential Quintuplets 2. Fresh from Beth, Nino. I've talked about this going up in price. You can see that graph just skyrocketing there. It used to be down in the 2s, but now it is it's almost $16. Dang, $16, seriously? Yep, I mean, it does sell. You can see August 18th, 4 sold. August 14th, 4 sold at $14.95. And that's probably without shipping, so probably like $16, near $16 for this card. And the card is a double rare, so you're not getting a whole lot of them from Quintessential Quintuplets 1. With the sealed product, let's see. I did not check this out before. $69, 13 listings available. I don't know if they ever reprinted it. I know there was that talk that it was going to be reprinted, but if they didn't reprint it, the amount is definitely going down. Especially if people did not know that quintessential cards were even a thing. I made a video about like all the different cards for Quintessential Quintuplets, and somebody asked me like, where do I buy these for Quintessential Quintuplets 2? I didn't know there were actually cards out there. So there are still people that are out there that have not heard about Weiss Schwarz, and if they do hear about it, that's why I always said that this is going to be a nice one, nice set for the long term, especially when we get the movie set. But in my buy and invest video, I did tell you that since we've seen reprints happen, even if Quintessential Quintuplets 1 gets wiped out, Quintessential Quintuplets 2 gets wiped out, if we have a movie set, there is always that potential that they reprint during the movie set timing. Okay, so I wouldn't go out here and just try to buy up everything in the market, because you're just going to push that potential of a reprint during the movie set to actually happen. Though, no, I don't think anything would happen either. Like, what I was thinking about in my mind as I said that is, we know that there are changes to colored two signatures from that gold to silver on a reprint that happened before. But with on Attack on Titan, they didn't do that. And if you look at these cards for Quintessential Quintuplets, you can see there is the color that matches the girl. So Miku has blue. We have Ichika with yellow. So their signatures match their cards and what colors they're traditionally given. So if there was a reprint, the only thing that they could potentially do is leave them exactly the same, print it exactly the same, maybe write second edition on the box, or they do change it, which I don't see happening. So then I guess you could write second edition on the card itself, but they haven't done that before, and I don't know if they're willing to do that now. Oh, that'll be interesting when we get there. Tokyo Revengers! Anyways, Tokyo Revengers. Tokyo Revengers still seems to hurt, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel, I believe. Right now, booster box is $46.99. I know I've said it on other videos. I'll say it again. People say that this is because of dead boxes and all that. That is not 100% true. I'm not saying that these people are lying to you. I'm saying that there are people that are just trying to get rid of this product. They're willing to take a loss. Dead boxes, map boxes, unmapped boxes, live boxes, it doesn't matter. They're selling them because they want to get rid of it. There are people that have, and not to point this out, but 28. You have people with 37 and 18 and all of that stuff. And you can look over the names, look at what they're selling and all that. But that's enough for a case. There's some people selling cases worth of stuff. If you're going to buy singles of these boxes, I would just write them, somehow get in contact with them and say, if I buy this from you, are you going to give me a full case, on a sealed case that I know has not been tampered with and all that good stuff. Oh, there's just people that want to get rid of this product. It has nothing, it's not 100% true that people have searched all of this stuff. There has been plenty of people out there that have said that they've gotten signature cards from booster boxes they bought on TCG Player. Just keep that in mind. When it comes to SSPs, this is really, really sad because this set, as Weiss Schwarz Blau came out, this set should have been in Weiss Schwarz Blau apparently, because the dudes are not enough to keep this product floating. Like, you needed girls apparently to keep the value of this box in. Even though you might want Hina to be 801.81, it is not. Hina's not going to be 801.81. Emma's not going to be your 319.97. Mikey is your big card, and someone will buy that for 500 or less, but it's not going to be that Hina. And the boys just not holding it up. The set overall wasn't the greatest. I think personally it should have been a little bit stronger than what it was, because this is about a freaking biker gang. If you didn't watch it, you have gangs of people versus fighting gangs of people, and they were really going at it. Blood was happening. People may have gotten murdered, and I feel like something like an anime like that where people are dying and fighting, to fit the actual flavor of that, it should have been a little bit stronger than what it was. And because it wasn't, it's definitely struggling out there in the world. But here are your trial deck SPs. And the funny thing again, Hina over here 300, Takemichi 409.97, which is completely wrong. If anything, those prices should be switched, but because of the lack of buying, people are just dropping the prices on this. Because Hina, let me just skip over here. Hina is going to be your strongest card from your trial deck. Here she is. She's your strongest card from your trial deck. When I looked earlier, this was sold out, but someone put up more cards. You can see right here, there is a lot of buying. Out of everything from Tokyo Revengers, this is one of those ones that actually sold the most, which is amazing because this is a trial deck card. You could have gotten this from opening 2 trial decks worth of, just, you got your cards for. But that has not happened. People rather buy the singles than actually pay $15 for the trial deck, which is a little telling of how the set is actually doing. Here is where the trial decks are. 1488 is 1488 is your lowest price. So people rather buy the singles of this for $3 each. So they rather buy one trial deck than buy two trial decks worth of money there. And where do we at? TRVs, because of the people opening, or the lack of opening anyways, of this product, you can see the TRVs are definitely suffering. You do not have a ton of listings, and some of them are sold out. So we have Draken. People really love Draken because he's completely sold out on TCG Player anyways, and you see the listings. We got 2, 5, 1, 3, 6. It is definitely low. Very, very low. And it's not like a ton was bought. See, so this Takemichi, there was only 3 sold, and overall, if you add it all together, there was 5 cards on TCG Player of this. And even then, it's 22-32. So this pretty much proves the point that it has not been a lot of availability. You may have to open boxes of this stuff this time around to actually get it. Can you imagine that? That as a collector or somebody that just wanted to buy a couple cards for a deck, that you might actually have to open a box to get the cards that you want, and you have to hope that Lady Luck is there on your side. Because look at this one. This Hina, special person Hina, 6 listings, $9.19. That is pretty low. You know, comparatively when you're looking at what we have for Quintessential Quintuplets. This thing's been out, what, 3 weeks? And there's only 6 more listings of this. Okay? And even of the listings, it's like 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Eventually it's going to get to that point where people are going to open this, just try to sell actual cards. That's kind of amazing. Once this one runs out, it might be like what Bofree looked like on that end, where Bofree has cards in the 20s sold out. So there's 15 20s and sold out is what you're going to see Bofree side. I actually just show that. You don't remember. Not all of the double rares look like that, but there's a healthy amount of double rares that look like that. Right? Battle Craftsman is sold out. Multicolored Sally, $18.91. Kanade, $18. Loving Sacrifice Maple, $14. Saint Misery, $10. I could tell you what these prices were before. Like Loving Sacrifice Maple, she was down in the 8s. Saint Misery, she was down in the 3s. Giant Killing May and Yui, they were in the 5s. Machine God Maple actually kept going down. That was one of those ones that actually kept going down. Not highly used in some of the decks, but yeah, here we go. Battle Craftsman is... Yeah, there was more sales than this. It's just over time it wipes them out. Multicolored Sally. You can see that our graph here. Oh, I can just use the graph. Why not? Just use this graph. It's funny that the listing wipes out. Right here, it goes all the way down to April 22nd, 2022. But then the graph goes all the way back to August. So you can see this sucker has moved up quite a bit over time. Let me see Saint Misery. There, yep, see, it's down there in the 3s and has gone all the way up to $10 now. And people have bought it. People have bought it at the $10 mark. So that is the one hope of Tokyo Revengers, is that it is not opened as much and people actually want the cards. That is where you are at. If you pull a TRV, you may be able to sell it if it's a Draken. If people buy out all these double rares, if someone wants to make a deck of it, of Hina there, and use this Hina, then you're going to have to pay that price. If there is a volume 2 that is created for Tokyo Revengers, then these things will go up as they have, as 7 Deadly Sins gotta bump up. Just keep that in mind. So Tokyo Revengers IP is definitely good. However, the lack of girls, the lack of meta strength is definitely hurting it. But having a lack of product is not a bad thing when you think about long-term kind of pricing. Seems kind of odd to think that way, but it's true, right? A lot of supply is bad. When you don't have a lot of supply, what do you think is going to happen? Hey, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Same idea of what I said before, is people are saying a lot of this stuff is lower priced because the good stuff has been pulled. That is partially correct. The other half of it is people are trying to get out of it. People are just overbought and trying to dump this stuff. This was not the greatest of sets. I did not say it was the greatest of sets. IP wise, it's great. Hestia is great, but when you thought about the meta, I didn't think it was as good as what I've been hearing, just because it's complicated of a deck. Not everybody's going to want to play that kind of a deck, and this is kind of reflecting of this 5320. I just read. I'm not gonna comment. I was gonna say something. You know, honestly, there's a lot of things I do want to say, but I don't want to get in trouble saying it. So I'm gonna move on from my thoughts and just scroll down. There is $53, 58, 58. So it's moving up. You see this here. It's going back in the 60s. It's not going to take too much to actually move it back in the 60s. And there is still a healthy amount of buying on this actual product itself. So overall, I think, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? It's fine enough just because we got the girls in it, right? We have Hestia, we got Eyes, we got Rue, we got Seer. Even though Seer is down there naming the different girls that I would choose from, I would probably pick that. Yeah, I mean, you have Lily and you have Ina as well. And you got that really cool Bell card. The SPs are pretty nice on here. Let's just show them. SPs 450 for Hestia. And then Ice, we got for her trial deck version, 315. There's some definitely good value when it comes to SPs, but there are also some bad ones, as I pointed out before. Rue has definitely moved up, which, you know, it was nice that it was down there. Oh my god, it was in the 80s. Someone sold one in the 80s. Yeesh. I wonder if that was like $10 shipping and it put it in the 90s. But I will never know because I did not see that. That was a good price. Holy crap. Congrats if someone got that for 80 with shipping. Promo packs, the Tournament Store PR packs, $9. That's what your Hestia is going to be for the foil version of Skull. I, at some point, saw that this PR pack foil was lower than the actual non-foil version. That was a good time to actually get it. And yeah, that's it. That's the one you want. If you're going to get anything, that one's nice. And then this is your one for the shops. And there are a decent amount of people with a high quantity of these cards. That's how I'm going to describe that. And we have triple rares. Triple rares here. We have triple rares. Paradise in Heaven. I am told that is the best climax ever. Someone wrote that under the climax. I think it was Mark DYJ. Yep. Mark DYJ. Paradise in Heaven. That is the one that he is saying is the climax is all you need. So I saw that. I saw this card. I'm like, I don't know how I feel with that being all foily. It didn't have that kind of the card didn't look as great as I thought with the foil on it. Maybe it's nicer without the foil. Maybe I need to really take a look at it, but not something that I thought was the greatest. But overall, I could see why he said that. When it comes to those kind of cards, when I was looking at these cards, going back to the Quints, and I'm skipping around here, but we are 40 minutes in, so if you're still with me on this, where's my Quints? Where's my SR Quints? There's a point in my mind where I'm like, I feel like if you really want these cards, these really are, I mean, you might like Quints. You might like Nino a lot, and then I just look at Sneaker Bunko, and if I wanted those kind of cards, I think I would just go and buy Sneaker Bunko and buy a crap load of them. But I get it. You like your second Quint, you like Quintessential Quintuplets overall, and you need it to fill out your actual master set, or if you want to like a play set, max rarity, all of that stuff, then maybe that's why you do it. But if there's a point where some of these like loot type cards, I might as well just buy a loot set. When I went on Ami, as another aside here, when I went on Ami, I went to buy my Reza Sealan cards, but then I scrolled down on Ami, like on the actual page, because they recommend you other cards that you can buy. I'm like, holy crap, there is quite the market down there for different types of cards. And like, maybe you should buy some of those cards. Like that might be good. I know because like Weiss Schwarz, it's nice to see your anime and all that stuff, but maybe you take that leap and you go one step further, like just beyond like Weiss Schwarz into like a whole another realm of cards. Yeah, that's where I'm going. Anyways, triple rares. With this, I shall make you win, and paradise and heaven and unyielding feelings are pretty expensive. But remember, there is these are your booster box ones. You have this one, Moment in Labyrinth City Hestia. That is your trial deck one. Oh, expensive. And then we got SRs. Lowly Goddess Hestia finally dropped. She was really hanging in there in the 20s. I feel like a lot of these, especially with the Quints, are going to be graded because they're nice looking SRs. They got interesting, uh, I guess, card art on them or screen grabs on it, and the SRs. Yeah, DanMachi has some nice value in the different slots in the triple rare and the SRs. Same idea with the Quints. Some pretty strong reasons why, even if a box is dead. So just think about that one. If a box is dead on Quintessential Quintuplets and you have double rare Ichika, that's what was it, $10? And then you have three potential foils that you can get, SRs or triple rares. And seeing how much that some of these are, like you have this triple rare 1369, you have some of these SRs that are 1418, 1499, 899, 949. So if you have three potential foils to come in there, and then you have your also your double rares, you can see where the value is actually kicking in. And the nice part about Quintessential Quintuplets, as mentioned, it is a playable deck. So there is some value to be gained out of opening a box, especially when you sell it for $46. It's nice to see that this has all cleared out of the way with Quintessential Quintuplets, because I was fearing that this thing was going to be pretty low, like in the 40s, stay there a while, but there's been people just buying this up. And as I've been doing this video, someone else came along and is selling boxes. So there's been a lot of cases, but at the same time, a lot of excitement surrounding this set. I really can't wait to open mine. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. Last things, that was everything. What do we got last thing here? Attack on Titan, gonna do a buy and invest video with this right here, scammed or normal damage on my Hololive and DanMachi trial decks. I got it right here. Here it is. It came in yesterday night. I got my magnetic latent print powder, and the one on the right is the fluorescent magnetic one. So I wipe this on, I take this little sucker here, and we're gonna see some fingerprints or no fingerprints. I do have to test it out to make sure that I can actually do it. So I had to run test runs. I have not opened this yet. You can still see the plastic on there, but we do have this. We're gonna find out one way or another if, for one, if I can fingerprint the stuff to begin with, and if I can, if my trial decks were actually in fact tampered with. And you may be asking why I'm going to all these lengths. For one, I don't like being ripped off. I think that ticks me off. But at the same time, I'm going to hope that if this is actually true, that something is done with the packaging on Bushiroad side. I will definitely, if we do find fingerprints inside of there, one way or the other, I will be sending that over to Bushiroad and asking that, they take a look and see about changing the packaging. Because you can't have packaging that people feel is compromised. That is not how you sell a game and garner the trust, especially if you're aiming at collectors, right? Like, you can't have that thought that your product has been already searched through. We need some confidence there. That is basically it. I'm going to be trying other types of videos in the future. I'm going to be I have my Bushiroad magazine to actually open, and then I also want to make an AMV of Tokyo Revengers. Even though Tokyo Revengers Weiss Schwarz set is not doing as well, I do want to make an AMV. I've never done that before, but since I've been learning to edit and all this other stuff, I think it would actually be fun to do that once in a while. So I'm going to be attempting that I am super close to being at 1,000, so I appreciate you all being here and subscribing as you've done. We're almost there. And the reason why I even mention that is it always takes me back to everything, like the whole year in some that's been around. I've been around doing this. It's pretty nuts that I made it this long, and just my appreciation of all of you, whether you write in the comments, write in emails, or not at all. I really do appreciate all of you. It is fun. I'm finding that I'm having a lot of fun just not talking about the dollar and cents of all of it. That I can open some stuff that I'm just casually playing in my free time, and then also helping people out where I can, as in when people ask me where to buy from, where people ask me about certain cards, like where you can get them from, or potentially with this fingerprint powder to actually expose if cards shops or sellers are actually doing this. The sad part though is once I do this, people that are doing it will probably wear gloves. If they continue doing it, they're just gonna wear gloves. There is always one way around it. The ultimate way to fix it is Bushiroad's end. But I do have a lot of fun doing these. I really appreciate all of you for spending the time as you do with me. As always, have fun, be happy, and don't spend anything outside of your budget. Have a good one.